What's up everyone? As you all know, Christmas is right around the corner. There's only 2 days left, which means tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So for this video, I decided to walk through my entire Ertl Thomas collection. It's not very big, but it's also not very small. I'll be going through some of the engines, rolling stock, and road vehicles I own, as well as some of the Ertl miniatures. By the way, one of the Christmas presents that I will be receiving is a Bachmann Edward, which I'll probably do a review on, or if I don't feel like making an entire review, I'll probably just do a little running session. But before we start the video, let's get into some history about the Ertl trains. The first ever Thomas model that was released by Ertl was released in 1984, the same year as Season 1 aired. The Thomas that was first released carried a sticker face, which looked like something that you'd see in the Railway series. But later on, the sticker faces were replaced with plastic ones, which would go on to be the main look of the engines until the line was discontinued in the early 2000s. And since I don't own an Ertl Thomas, my personal favorite would probably be the sticker face variant, since it looks like something that was pulled straight out of one of the early illustrations of the Railway series by Reginald Payne. So for the collection, we're going to be starting off with Henry. So the Henry that you see here has a plastic face, and there was one that did carry a sticker face, but I mean, I do like this one, even though it has a plastic face. This model is pretty long. It has the tender, which is permanently connected. I'm not going to be going into a full discussion about all the models, but over here, it's entirely made out of metal, with the exception of the side rods, which are painted red instead of silver like most of the engines for some reason. And the running board is also plastic. It has this coil load, which is also it's black, and it's also made of metal. So yeah, he's a pretty nice model. Henry is a character that I'm so happy to have in Ertl form, since he and Gordon are my favorite characters in Thomas, because they're both big engines and I just love them very much. So yeah, that's Henry. Next up we have the green caterpillar himself, Percy. Not just any Percy, but this has the sticker face, and is the only sticker face engine I own. I think Percy was released the same year as Thomas, in 1984, because it literally says it under here. I got him new in box from eBay, and I just made the stupid decision to just open them. I mean, it's fine if you prefer to open your models, but I mean, I feel like I just should have kept this guy in the box, because I mean, you just don't see these much. I might get a regular Ertl Percy with the plastic face and just do a comparison with him and this guy, but honestly very happy to have this guy in my collection. I think all the proportions on this guy are just right. It of course has the plastic running plate, but other than that, nothing too bad. There's unpainted details, but I mean, it's a toy really, what do you expect? My flaw with this would be the fact that he's a bit too tall. If I get out Henry, you can see that Henry is shorter, which I'm not a fan of. And I mean, the scaling was kind of a common problem with these toys. Here is also a side-by-side comparison with the Ertl Percy and the Ertl miniature one. Alright, so next up we have Toby. And then we'll take a look at Toby first. So I like Toby. He's nice, and he too is one of my favorite characters in Thomas. He's very nicely painted. He has this detailing on top of his roof. Right here is the chimney. There's the painted bell, you can see, and the face doesn't look too accurate, but it's fine. There's also the white painted lamp, and he's also one of those engines in the Ertl range that I am happy to own, just because he's very nice. But his model makes him look more like his Railway series counterpart. I don't know what it is. He's just a bit larger, and I mean, that's just what I think. My Toby is from 1989. I think it says under there. It's very small. It's kind of hard to read. There's also Toby's coach, Henrietta. She's fine. Not much to say about her other than I do like the people inside the windows. That's a nice detail. So the last engine I have is the first Ertl Thomas item I've ever owned, and probably one of my favorites, Boko. Boko is one of my favorites because I just love the amount of detail he has on him. He's just like one of those complex engines. And he also has the Kobo wheel arrangement, which is 6 wheels in the front and 4 in the back. This is the British Rail. There's a British Rail logo right there. I think that's a sticker, but it has like all these other details. Has these grills on the side of him. There's also complex detailing on his roof. He's very nicely painted. The face looks very accurate. It looks just like Boko in the TV series. So yeah, not a bad engine. So now that we've gone through the engines, let's take a look at some of the rolling stock I own. So we'll go through the express coaches first. And honestly, I'm not really a fan of these. They're nice, but I mean, they're all like plastic and they're pretty light. And I think these are honestly just reused versions of Annie and Clarabelle, except with different chassis. Though on a more positive note, since I don't have an Ertl Gordon, I like to couple these up to my Ertl Henry and have them pull these along. Last piece of rolling stock we'll be taking a look at is Toad. I know I don't have a lot of Ertl rolling stock. Not much to say about him other than he's huge. And I mean, he is huge. If I get out Henry, you can see he just towers him. And this is honestly, I think this is considered one of Ertl's worst models. But I just decided to get him not knowing that. And I might get Oliver someday to have him with Toad. I'm not sure because he goes for a lot on eBay. Not as much as the Tomy Oliver, but he is pretty expensive. But yeah, that's Toad. And now we'll be moving on to the road vehicles, one of which is Terrence. I think Terrence is a great model because he just looks so accurate to what he looks like in the TV show. The face looks exactly like the one in the, oh god. I think Terrence is a great model because he looks so accurate to his TV series counterpart. The face looks exactly like what you would see in the show. He has all these other details. There's his treads, and a lot of people like using the Bachmann one because they say it's more accurate, and I mean it is, but I like to use this one for like I guess like HO scale purposes more because the treads actually move, and the Bachmann doesn't have any moving treads, which is why I would prefer to use this one more. So yeah, that's Terrence. And the second and last road vehicle I have is Trevor. Not much to say about him other than he's nice. He's like kind of a bland character in my opinion. Like there's not much to him. I mean, he was rescued from Edward from being scrapped, but I mean that's really all we need to know about him. He also likes giving rides to children in the Vicarage Orchard. But yeah, not a bad model. And to wrap my collection up, we now have the Ertl miniature engines. So the only ones I have are Percy, Edward, and James. Here's James. He's a little bit worn, but I basically got these new in box off of eBay. Sorry about that. But I mean, they're very cute. You know, they're very small also. I really like them. They have these dummy wheels underneath. You can just roll these guys. They have a coupling system, but you can like couple the engines up. But yeah, they also have paper faces. Here's Edward. Yeah, they're very nice, and these are basically like these are entirely made out of metal. So that's very nice and adds like a little bit of weight. But yeah, that basically wraps up my entire collection. If you guys enjoyed, please comment, like, and subscribe, or don't. I don't really care. It doesn't matter that much to me. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.